Hi everyone, this is Scott Blurton, writer, producer, director, almost the entire production team of The Canvasser, the micro-budget feature film that we've been working on since 2015. That's a long time. Wanted to give you the update for February 2021. And we got good news is that a couple weeks ago I was able to finish the sound editing for The Canvasser. So it's about an hour and 47 minutes of sound editing. Took about 3 months of grinding through it. It's not the funnest thing in the world, that's for sure. But still, it was pretty. It's necessary and makes a huge difference. So my next plan is to take it and then add it to the previous video, and make the sixth cut, which then I can put on YouTube for you guys to check it out to see how the progress is going. The only thing that's to be left is the cleanup shots, which I'm going to talk about today, and to finish off the score and then do the sound mixing. And during the sound mixing, I may take the sound effects and then pan them left and right in order to produce a stereo mix, but it's kind of lower in the priority list. Now, if that's done, I want to take a break from doing it to sort of fix some shots that have been bothering me for quite some time. Now, you've probably seen this in the video. You'll get a number of shots. Now, we're going to pull it here into DaVinci here, where, whoops, sorry. I'm going to do this, and we'll put this on 1. And for example, here's a shot with Artemisia. We filmed this near the end of production, and you can see something here where there's a car and there's a person in the background. Now, we didn't really worry about this because we really didn't have the technology, and on a shot-by-shot basis, it's not too much of an issue because that's normal. People are in the background. The problem challenge comes with, how to explain it, the challenge comes with consistency. You often have a circumstance where you're trying to do something and get something to fit together and have it be cohesive. So, for example, we had to shoot her, and you'd have somebody in the background, and then shoot me, or have a shot of me in the back, and then there's other people in the background. And then when we return back to her with the next shot in the sequence, they're shot out of sequence. So what's behind her has changed. So you might have a different person, you might have a different cyclist. So it's not really a big deal, but it does create some challenges with consistency. When we started this project, we didn't really think that was something we could really do anything about, but with the advent of technology and how it's gotten cheaper, it's actually surprisingly easy to do. And the way we do that is in DaVinci Resolve. Now, really all I need to do is in the background, first and foremost, you have to separate out the foreground and the background. So the foreground is going to be Artemisia here. And to do that, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can rotoscope it, which is you just simply cut it out. You can also use inside DaVinci Resolve something called Magic Mask. Now, I just got DaVinci Resolve a couple months ago because it was on special. I'm interested in using it for the next feature film project. But one of the downsides I've had with it for me is that something like the Magic Mask, as powerful as it is really hard on my computer's resources. I don't have a really strong graphics processing unit, so it uses the CPU and it just chugs. And then if I use it, and I have it in part of a sequence, it takes a long time for you to render anything or to do anything. So, and also it takes a long time to try and get the magic mask just right, where it's got the lines and everything. So thankfully there's this other program online called Runway ML. And Runway ML is essentially you take your shot. In this case, we'll take, what's a good one for us to use? Let's take this one. And we'll drag it in here. We've already uploaded it. And I just drag it in. And I'll take a second. There, this is the exact same shot. Good. So all you have to do is you have to take this little crosshairs and you click on it. And you click on her. And what it'll do is get most of her face. And we'll click here to add another point. And then there. That's a pretty good mask. Now we don't need the bottom here because we just want to stop her from interacting with the car and stop her from interacting with this person in this jumpsuit. Now you normally hit preview and then it'll go through all the way. And let me just go let it do its thing. And it'll go through frame by frame and then try and adjust the mask that's created to fit the character. And in this case, you can see it does a really good job right off the box. Now for me to hand rotoscope this would take a really long time. And I'm not even sure I would do a very good job on it, to be honest with you. I don't think I'd do as good of a job as this. So we let that finish. This takes a minute. There, that's pretty good enough. That's all we really need. So it looks pretty good. That took, what, 20, 30 seconds? Whereas if I was doing this by hand, this would be about 5 or 6 hours easy, and it'd probably take time. It'd take a lot of time to work on it. The next thing you do is you export it. Now you can have a few options export. You can do green screen. The problem I've had problems because I'm still new to DaVinci, and some of the first shots I did with the green screen, I had trouble pulling a consistent key off of it, which I must be doing something wrong, I'm not sure. So I actually prefer to just export the alpha channel. This is just a simple white or black diagram, which just I can use later to tell DaVinci Resolve, hey, this I want to be transparent, black, and this white I want to actually be seen. And then you just export it. Now when you're done that, you just bring it back into it. That's not it. Bring it into here in DaVinci, and you've got that set as your alpha. So I imported it and I put it together. I'm not really going to go into too much detail, but just know that when I'm compositing a clip here, which I've set up, I'm just going to set the alpha, and then I apply a Luma key to it, and that separates it, and you can see the rest of it is transparent. If it's a checkerboard, it's transparent. Then I apply that to the foreground, which is just the original image, and you can see it's done a pretty good job of cutting her out. So you got her face, and then you've got the rest of the background. And then when you merge it together, you get this, where it's like, you can see it all looks pretty. She's on top of the frame, and it looks pretty good. Now that we've taken care of the foreground, that means we can start messing around with the background and not actually affect her face, because her face is going to be on top of whatever changes we make. So what we've done is we go into background, we go into paint, and we go into background, and I'm just going to redo this because my computer crashed the first time I tried to do this, so hopefully it won't crash this time. And you create a paint node, and it follows the background nodes. Background node feeds into the paint node, and then that paint node, you set it to brush, say still source, you drag the background into your source tool, so that's what it's going to paint from, and then you set what they call, it's like single stroke, so that means one stroke will last for the entire video. And then you pick a frame, and we want one where she's as far to the right as possible if we want to paint someone out. And let's go 290. I said to here, source time is 290, that's frame 290. And then with that in mind, I go all the way back to here where this person is. I'm going to change the brush size, make it bigger, and you can see I can just paint her out. It's using the video, one frame of the video to paint out a later part of the video, and that paint lasts all the way through. And you can see here that she's been painted completely out, with some exceptions. You can see there's a little red dot. I can do the same thing for the car. 290 is pretty clear when it comes to cars. Yeah. So I want to paint out that car. I'm going to paint it out here. And yeah, it's essentially like magic. It's really cool. Now I've already done that, so I'm just going to undo that and then feed into these two painted nodes, which did all the work. And then your final shot, you can see here, if we go all the way, you can see the left has the original frame, the right has the adjusted frame, or I must have messed up somehow. Yeah, I definitely messed up somewhere. Oh well. But you get the idea. I think it's because that should be the background, this should be the foreground. At some point, it's forgotten what these paint notes are. But the final shot of it is taken out, and I wonder if I can pull that up for you. Where would I put that? I would have put it under... Let's pull it open. Final Cut Pro. Not DaVinci. It'll be under Final Cut Pro. Canvasser. Visual effects shots. And I think it's under 78. You can see I've done a lot of cleanup. And I think we get finished. There we go. And I think it's number... I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I think this is it. So I've pulled this open and take a look at it. And you can see, you can't see anything behind her. It's that easy. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, so it took me a few hours to, well, recharge the battery and then reinstall the utilities. But basically, once we were done through and isolating the foreground and clean up the background so that there's no moving cars or things, we would put it back into Final Cut Pro. And I just wanted to take a moment here to show you this and what this looks like. So here's one of the shots.
Most counselors don't, but your stance was appreciated. So what are you going to do now?
Okay, and we're going to go back and do it again, and we're going to disable the new one, and you can see
before the campaign.
Most counselors
what it
don't.
looked like before.
But your stance was appreciated. So what are you going to do now?
So it's kind of amazing. It took basically a week to learn how to do it, and then basically a couple days in order to clean up all the shots that I want to do. And I did it in this one. 78 was the big one. As you can see, there's a lot here. Let me see if I can find one. Yep, there's another jogger. So here's the original shot.
Excuse me, Mr.
And then here's the new shot. Oh, you can see it.
Excuse me, Mr. Shy.
1 second, you can barely see it. 1 sec. There. So if you look at that frame right there, here, I'll just use my mouse. You can see there's a slight footstep there. Now, you're not going to notice that when it's done. And if you do, I'll find a way to fix it. But basically, I went through this entire scene, and you can see before, after. Before, after. Here's another one. Before, after. Oh, there's a car. So this one's interesting
It was
because you got an
impressive.
approaching car.
Thank you. A lot of people don't realize the huge role that the city plays in early education and childcare. I certainly didn't before the campaign.
Most counselors don't.
Huge role that
And
the
now
city
it's
plays
gone.
in early education and
It's pretty
childcare.
extraordinary how you can do
I
this.
certainly didn't before the
I'm really
campaign.
shocked
Most
by
counselors
technology.
don't.
It didn't take that long to learn. Let's see if there's anything else I can show you. I don't think so. We did that. We also did... The only thing left, I think, video-wise, I have to do is I want to add a grayscale logo to the second debate. But for the most part, it should be pretty solid. Oh yeah, there's one that's actually more interesting. I'll show you another one that's more interesting. Let's see, close that. That's also kind of a mess. This one I'm going to show you is library. It was early, I think. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. It just made it look a lot more professional. We also did some color grading. There was one particular scene that I really struggled to get right. And we sort of got it to a point where I think it looks okay now, but I think it's going to take some time to figure that out. It doesn't look like I have it here. I don't think this is it. Not that one, no. Must be the one after that. Oh, hopefully I don't crash the computer. But basically, yeah, it's our next step now is I'm pretty much done with the video tweaks. We're kind of at a position where I'm comfortable with the final cut. My next step will be to work on the score again. We've gotten through about 56 minutes. I want to add probably another 20. 48, 49. This one should be it. And clean it up. I'm learning more as I go, so I'll probably go back at the beginning and try and take the earlier stuff I did and try and make it a little bit more professional, make it a little bit more solid. And then, of course, this week I'll do all the renders and recut the renders together to make a new solid cut. And I'm going to integrate the sound effects into it as well, so you can hear how it sounds with the sound effects. Let's see if I can find that shot. Yeah, fix that one. Yeah, I don't think I have it here. No, I don't. But I did fix the Twitter wall as well. I wonder if I have it here. I really did want to show you it because it was an early example of this. I wish I had it popped up. It was yeah, where was that? Yeah, I don't know where it is. It has to be this one. It has to be this one. I'm sorry, it's got to be in here. It's we were filming at the what's the word I'm looking for? Just beside the art gallery, the National Gallery of Canada, and there was one shot in particular that was really interesting. Oh, here it is. My bad. So I had it before, and if it's scene 40, where are you? Here it is, scene 47. Okay, so right in here, this is probably my favorite, because we were filming this, and I'll see if I can get the shot that I'm looking for. Yeah, here we go. So we were filming this, and we were doing pretty good, and people were pretty good. But then there's this guy.
It has to be
who
connected
just
to
kind of came
something
up
greater.
and started taking
A promised land,
photos
a more
right in the middle of our
perfect
shot.
union.
And so what I was able to, with this technology, I was able to remove him.
To activate.
And I was
It
able
has to be connected to
make it look
something
seamless. Like,
greater.
you really can't tell.
A promised land, a more perfect
Yeah.
union.
The only thing I wish I could fix is that in this shot she has no book, but in this shot she's got a book in the hand. So that's on me. That is probably beyond my ability. But that's it for now. We're on good track. Next will be the score. I'm looking forward to working on the score for the next few months. And then next will be mastering the score and making it sound like really professional. And then bouncing it to an audio format, or then adding it to my sound, the sound mix, and then mixing them all together and then putting it together in a final package. That we can actually put in a movie theater, probably do what they call a .dcp file, a digital cinema projection. But I just wanted to let you know by the end of February, things to keep in mind. Finish the sound editing, finish most, like 99.99% of the shots are final, are ready to go, and it's really just the score at this point. So I'm hoping to finish sometime early summer. I know it keeps going back a month at a time, but that's really where we're really getting to the point. We're in the final days. I'm really excited to get this project done so you can see the whole thing. Anyway, I'll put up the next cut on my YouTube channel probably within the next week or so, just so you have a chance to check it out and see all the differences. Until then, and I'll stay in touch. So until then, hope you enjoy the winter. Stay safe, and I hope that you are doing well. And thanks again for all your help and support for The Canvasser. Have a great day.